Dear students, today we will learn about non-finite verbs, infinitives, gerund, participles. Verbs are divided into two categories, that are finite and non-finite verbs. A verb that changes according to the time of action means tense form. The number of the people doing the action means singular or plural noun. The person doing the action, first, second, third person. So when the verb changes according to the person, singular and plural noun, and the tense, that verb is called finite verb. For example, Ria swims daily. Here swims word is a finite verb. They enjoyed the show. Enjoyed is also a finite verb because it is being changed because of the tense form. Next is non-finite verbs. A verb that does not change its form according to the tense, number of people doing the action, or pronoun used as the subject. For example, Ria likes swimming. They enjoyed watching the show. In both these sentences, swimming and watching are not changed. So, what we learned earlier, we learned that finite verbs depend on person, number, subject and tense, whereas non-finite verbs do not depend on person, number, subject and tense. Now let's discuss further differences. Finite verbs have a subject. They always have a subject, whereas non-finite verbs don't have any subject. Finite verbs indicate tenses. They tell us about which tense we are talking about, present, past or future. But on non-finite verbs, there is no effect of tenses. Finite verb changes according to subject, number and person, but non-finite verbs do not change according to subject, number and person. Next, finite verb complete the sentence, whereas non-finite verbs sometimes complete the sentence, not always. Finite verbs act as the main verb of a sentence. Non-finite verbs act as nouns, adjectives and adverbs. So finite verbs are main verb, whereas non-finite verbs work as nouns, adjectives and adverbs. Non-finites are of three kinds: infinitives, gerund and participles. Now what are infinitives? Infinitives are two forms of verb. One example is given here. I like to write in English. To write here is infinitive. Infinitive or to verb can be used as the subject of the verb in a sentence. For example, to add is human. It is also used as the object of the verb in a sentence. For example, birds love to sing. As the object of the verb, but it takes an object of its own. Means it will also have an object of its own. For example, to admit one's fault is not easy. So to admit word is our infinitive and its object is one's fault. As an object of the verb and also be modified by an adverb. For example, her routine is to exercise daily. So to exercise is modified by daily, adverb. To qualify an adjective. For example, cherries are sweet to eat. So sweet word is being qualified by to eat. To qualify a noun, for example, this is not the time to sleep. So time is qualified by to sleep. As the object of a preposition, for example, the speaker is about to begin. As the complement of a verb, for example, His greatest ambition is to play cricket. So the verb is coming as a complement. Infinitives that come without to are called bare infinitive. We use bare infinitives after modal auxiliary verbs such as will, shall, would, should, may. For example, you must go home now. So you have written here go only, not to go. You must to go home now. It will be incorrect. So we use go means bare infinitive with modal auxiliaries. Second example, he can drive the car. He knows how to drive the car. Next, after these verbs, let, make, bid, dare, and need, we use bare infinitive. For example, let me complete the process once. He dare not touch my violet. So dare and let, after these words we are using bare infinitive. Note, we use to with dare and need in affirmative sentences. When these sentences, dare and need sentences come in affirmation, we use to with them. Next rule to use bare infinitive is after the verbs of perception. For example, see, hear, watch, know, feel, we use bare infinitive. There are two sentences given here. He saw her take away his bag. We heard her cry with pain. In both these sentences, we are having words of perception, that is saw and heard. After these words, we will use bare infinitive. After the expressions such as would rather, had better, rather than. After these expressions, we use bare infinitive. For example, you had better go before it gets dark. Gerund. Gerund is ing form of verb used as noun. For example, losing a close game is always hard. Here, losing a close game is gerund because it is coming as a noun. So here it's a gerund. Now let's learn how to use gerund in sentence. As a subject, we can use gerund as a subject. Driving too fast is dangerous. Here driving is coming as a subject in a sentence. In next sentence, as an object. Example, I like reading poetry. So reading poetry is an object and it is coming, gerund is coming as an object. Third, object of a preposition. For example, Meghna is interested in learning to cook. So here it's coming as an object of a preposition. As a complement of verbs. Their idea of fun is swimming in the pool. So it's a complement, means it's completing the verb, that is called gerund. After gerunds, now we will learn about participles. Participles are of three kinds: present participle, past participle, and perfect participle. Participle means ing form of verb. The present participle is formed by adding ing to the root form of the verb. It describes an incomplete action or state. For example, the sleeping cat is black. The process of sleeping continues. So here the sleeping cat, it's coming as an adjective. Okay, you can see the sleeping cat. What is the condition of the cat? Sleeping. So the process of sleeping is continued. Next is the present participle is active in form. For example, the barking dogs ran around. Here also it's coming as an adjective and the state is active. Means you don't know when the action has finished but still it is continued. But it's coming not in form of verb but it's coming as an adjective. participle. The past participle is formed by adding ed, d, t, and en or n. It describes an action that is complete or state which is over. For example, those painted chairs look nice. Here also, painted is coming in form of adjective. But here, the chairs are painted and they are already painted. So the process of painting is complete. If the past participle is formed from a transitive verb, it is passive in form. The painted chairs. The chairs were painted means passive. The stolen goods. The goods were stolen. So they are passive in form. Participle having plus V3 form. Sometimes the second action begins only after the first has been completed. In that case, we convert the verb donating the first action into a participle. So the action that will be completed, we will use having form and V3 form for that. For example, having delivered the message, he left immediately. So, because the message was already delivered, this work has already been completed, we used having plus V3 form, means perfect participle for this sentence. Having delivered the message, he left immediately. Second example, having finished her homework, Meena was ready for play. So homework was finished earlier. So for the finished work or complete work, we used perfect participle. Hope you understood non-finites easily. Thank you. Have a nice day.